Welcome to I May Be Wrong.
I don't know what this world is coming to,
but I don't think so. We're broadcasting from the greater Nashville area, the home of country music, beyond the borders of political correctness and identity politics. Facts and faith are our demarcations. Truth lights our path.
Here's the Barry White of Podcast Radio,
the Venerable Alfonso Ashworth.
Well, live. We're on Facebook Live. You can also catch us at on YouTube Live. We got a great program for you this segment. We're going to be talking about critical race theory, what is right, what is wrong about it. I've got somebody also in the queue today that's going to be coming on the program. Technology has a way of just getting in the way. We got so many things that we're trying to do with what's happening. I see that Jenny Lucille is chimed in and is looking at the show on Facebook Live. Look, if you want to comment, you want to leave a comment, you got a question, you got something you want to say to me or my guest, please join me and chime in, and we'll get your comments and your questions as we go along. I see that I am broadcasting. Last week we had some trouble. For whatever reason, I had the word God in my comments in my segment. And every time it seemed like that I put the word God in my comments or in my topics, Facebook tries to play these Jedi mind tricks with me. I mean, they do things to where they try to block it, or they'll delay it, or they'll do something. They'll do almost anything to prevent me from having the show on. But of course, we are on. We are broadcasting. Look, critical race theory. What is it? Why do you need to know what it is? And what are they teaching your children in the schools and the universities about their race, about white privilege, about America, about capitalism, about communism, about Marxism, socialism, you name it. Man, they're teaching your children all of this garbage, and they're teaching it, and you have no idea what it is. You don't have no idea what it is. You don't know from Adam what critical race theory is. Well, let me sum it up in a nutshell. Critical race theory is based on the premise that if you are born white, that you are inherently a racist. You are inherently a racist. You can't help it. And you have to be reprogrammed. Now, keep in mind, God created us all in his image. But they will have you. I see that Ruby Ruffin is signed in. Welcome to the show, Ruby. Amen. They will have you believe that somehow, because of the color of your skin, that you have been predisposed to being a racist or a victim. Let's keep in mind, in order to be a racist, you got to have a victim of racism, and that victim today would be people of so-called color. Now, keep in mind that America has been the greatest country in the world for people of color. People of color have come here from everywhere. They still come. They come across our borders. They come daily trying to become citizens of this country. So somebody is lying. I'm going to play a quick video, then I'm going to bring my guest on. Check this video out. Check this video out. It'll blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind what they're teaching your children in your colleges and universities.
My name is Jen Roth-Gordon, and I am a cultural and linguistic anthropologist at the University of Arizona. I've been researching and teaching on the topic of race and racial inequality in Brazil and the United States for over 25 years. And this semester, I'm going to offer a community class called Whiteness and Racial Violence in America. Summer 2020 has put issues of race and racial inequality front and center and left lots of people feeling overwhelmed. You may be realizing that police violence is just the tip of a large iceberg and connected to questions of structural racism and our long history with racial violence in this country. You may be personally impacted by this violence and experiences of racism and looking to learn more about how whiteness and white supremacy are baked into the fabric of this country.
Baked
This
in.
6-week class is going to cover a wide range of topics, from environmental racism to racial disparity in education to how to critique and call out color blindness and white privilege.
Wow.
The class will be offered remotely, but I've decided to flip the classroom so that lectures will be pre-recorded and sent out to you to watch independently. I'll also provide you with both a short list of required readings and a longer list of resources that you can dive into to pick the topics that are most interesting to you. We're going to spend our classroom time together in an extended Q&A and discussion that will allow you to meet other people in the class and ask me the questions that matter most. If you want to learn more about racial justice and why this country is in the situation that it's in today, I hope you'll join.
He was concerned.
Check this out. You think that Marxism is not real? Black Lives Matter are Marxist? Listen. From the words of their own mouths.
In comparison to Occupy Wall Street. As you are advanced in your own organization, as you all are headed to Cleveland to participate in this Black Lives Movement conference, how do you respond to that particular critique? Again, a loving critique from an elder of the struggle that some others share, that I've even shared as well, to be frank, as a concern about, in part because of the co-optation and the appropriation, that a more clear ideological structuring might be of some value here. But how do you respond to those kinds of, again, loving criticisms?
I think that the criticism is helpful. I also think that it might, I think of a lot of things. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
Trained Marxists.
Super versed on sort of.
There you have it, folks. Right from the mouth. Look, right from their mouth. Clowns to the left of me. Jokers to the right of me. And here I am, and here you are, stuck in the middle with this nonsense that's being taught on your college campuses and some of your churches and some of your institutions of higher and lower learning. But we're going to talk about this. I have a special guest that has wanted to come on the show. I talked to a friend of mine that I'm very close to, Pastor Carl Ellis Mitchell III. I see that he is in the chat room as well. And Pastor Kedron Legree, he's a pastor of the Living Vine Church in Toledo, Ohio. Beautiful place. Married to his beautiful wife and co-pastor Gladys Legree for over 28 years. God bless you. Regional coordinator of the National Day of Prayer, a national yearly celebration observed on the first Thursday in May. So don't forget that. Pray daily. He's a rest home pastor in Toledo area, an arm of the many ministries at the church. He's a host of a radio and TV program in the local area. He's a political advocate, more so an advocate for the Lord Jesus Christ. He brings his expertise to the Legree Report in a way that only his style and grace of understanding that will help you process and grasp the idea of faith and the politics working together as one, as God has designed it to work. And of course, I want to welcome to my show, Kedron Legree. Welcome to the show, brother. We got connecting right now. We'll try to get him back on because I guess he's not hearing me, or he's not hearing me, or I can't hear him. I can't hear you, brother. I can't hear you. But in any case, we'll keep the show going. Right under your very nose. There's a lot of things happening right under your very nose. And some of these things have been by design. Some are by design. And unfortunately, the church and those in the church many times have seen this happening and have been unable or unwilling to put a stop to it. You just heard the video clip of the college professor that's teaching this nonsense called critical race theory. Now, this is a offshoot of some other communist and Marxist type theories that have been around for a while. And unfortunately, most people have not tried to address it. Of course, Carlos Mitchell says it's so sad, but we are at war. Jeannie Lucille says the spiritual war is no longer invisible. No, it's right here. It's in front of you. It's on to our lower grades now, where they're teaching children. They're segregating children, isolating them, and keeping them at one another. Keeping the blacks at the whites, keeping the whites at the Latinos, keeping the Latinos at their brothers that are Egyptian. This is going on. Here we have a president. We have a president of these United States who just brought countries together who have been at odds with one another for thousands of years. And I'm having some of my Christian friends tell me that President Trump is what's wrong in the world. President Trump is evil. President Trump is a racist. Well, if he's evil and a racist, what is he doing trying to bring the Arab people together with Israel? Why is he trying to bring peace to the Middle East? Why is he trying to uplift the black community? Why is he helping the black community with the HBCUs? Why is he trying to help the black community with the reinvigoration of economy back into their communities? Why is he trying to give black parents the opportunity to send their children to better schools with programs that they can take the money and go with the child? Why is everybody now all of a sudden unaware of what's actually going on in our churches? Do we have Pastor Kedron? Are you on? Can you hear me? I guess he's not connected. I was hoping to have him on the show. Man, we'll have to bring him back at another time. But he has some insight on this that I wanted to share with you and wanted you to hear. And the division is exactly what the devil wants. And like I said, jokers to the left of me and clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here we are. Yes, the devil, Satan, is the great liar. Here you have the Democratic Party. Now, I've heard someone in the Democratic Party on the Republican side, Governor Kasich, used to be the governor, of course, of Ohio, who actually says that you as a Christian or you as a pro-life person should put your pro-life stance aside in the sake of unity. Well, why not flip that the other way? Why not say you as someone who wants to murder a child, why don't you stop murdering that child in the sake of unity? Why not give that child an opportunity to live? Why not give that child an opportunity to have a say in what God has in store for that life? Why do you have to murder that life before it ever gets a chance to speak up for itself? So these politicians have lied to the black community. They have lied to you in the white community, especially those in the liberal side of the wing. They have lied to you that somehow that President Trump is the cause of all the problems. Let's keep in mind that President Trump has only been in office for 4 years. It's the first time he ever ran for political office. He's never held a political office before. 4 years. What has he done in 4 years except build the greatest economy the world has ever seen? More blacks were working, more women were working, more Hispanics were working until the pandemic. Now all of a sudden the pandemic is his problem and his fault when he was the one that tried to shut it down. He's the one that called it what it was when it first happened. It was a China virus. This virus started in Wuhan, China. We know this now. We didn't know it then, but we know it now. President Trump had the foresight and probably the God gift of wisdom to shut this country down before anyone else would when all the other politicians were saying he was xenophobic. And that's not true. And Ruby Ruffin says you're right. Of course, I may be wrong, but I don't think so. Of course, you can find me at I May Be Wrong, but I don't think so.com. You can follow me there. You can join me on my website. Of course, you can also give me, if you get the sound working, Carl, give me a cue on the screen. We're hoping to get Pastor Kedron on Legree if I can. If not, we're going to carry on and carry forth just like things are what they are. It is what it is. Look, when you're live, anything can happen. Anything could go wrong. And this is amazing why people can't understand this. When you're going live and things are not working, you have to keep rolling. You don't have the luxury to say cut. Cut. No, you can't cut. You just got to go with what it is. Now, what we're talking about, folks, and I see that Bill Davenport is in our chat room. Welcome to the show, Brother Bill. Brother Bill is a patriot, loves America. Jenny Lucille says in Toledo, we just opened a Hillsdale College-based classical elementary school last year. Classical reading, writing, arithmetic, faith. Faith has always been at the center of our education. It has always been at the root of our country. It's our faith. It's in the very first words of our Constitution. We the people. The faith was put in you and me, not the politicians, not the elected officials, not the judges. It didn't say we, the judges of the United States. It didn't say we, the politicians of the United States. It said we, the people. So it's always been about you and me. It's always been about our faith from the very foundation, the very first words in the Bill of Rights, that this your religion, your faith should not be infringed on. And it backs it up with other amendments. The Second Amendment that gives you the right to keep and bear arms. Here's the politicians like Biden and Kamala Harris who's saying they're going to mandate that you sell your weapons. They're going to mandate, I don't know if you know what the word means, but mandate means they're going to force you by law to sell your weapons. They keep calling these weapons of war. The police officers, the sheriff's deputies, the 2 sheriff's deputies that were shot at point blank range in Los Angeles just a few days ago, shot with a pistol, a revolver of some sort, shot in the face. The deputy, the female deputy who has a 6-year-old child was shot directly in her face. She was able to still call a 998 call that said police officers shot, police officers down. And she's gurgling this because she's got blood in her mouth. Her partner was shot in the forehead. Luckily, it didn't go through enough to do any damage. She's over here with a tourniquet trying to stop the bleeding. She's trying to make a call to her fellow officers that she's down, that they've been shot. And this coward who shot her and another coward took off. They're trying to find them. They should get the death penalty, period. They should be tried, and if they're found wanting, they should get the death penalty. What is the pastor's name in Toledo? Someone asked. His name is Pastor Kedron Legree. I don't know. Can you hear me, Pastor? Y'all hear me? I don't hear you yet. We're not getting any sound for on this end, so we're not going to be able to bring him on this segment. We'll have to bring him back for another segment. But man, I'm telling you, this stuff with what's going on with Black Lives Matter, these videos that are coming out every other day where they're attacking citizens, where they are burning and looting businesses. And keep in mind, most of these businesses that they're burning and looting are minority businesses. Most of them are minority businesses. And that should frighten these people when they go to the poll to vote. What are you going to vote for? Law and order? Or are you going to vote for chaos in our streets? Of course, also what they're not telling you about Black Lives Matter is that this movement is headed by the LGBTQ community. Not only are they trained Marxists, which means they're anti-God, by the way, they're also anti-family. They're anti-father. They're anti-male. They're pro-transgender. And if you don't think it's affecting your politics, let's listen to see what a former politician who was almost governor of Florida, who was caught in a scandal, former governor, Florida governor candidate Andrew Gillum, was caught in a scandal where he was captured or caught in a hotel room with two other men. And not only was he captured there, there's photos and videos of it where he was having this liaison, this menage a trois with these men in this hotel room. And here he is. He's supposed to be a family man. He's got a wife. He's got children. Let's hear what he recently had to say about his circumstances.
To be very honest with you, when you didn't ask the question, you put it out there, is whether or not I identify as gay, and the answer is I don't identify as gay, but I do identify as bisexual.
There you have it. He said, look, I don't identify. He said, I don't identify as gay. He said, I don't identify as gay. Look, he identifies as bisexual, he says. Gender confused at worst. And as someone said, pro-witchcraft. This movement is pro-witchcraft. And look what it's done to the black male. This man who was supposed to be a family man, someone strong, standing up for what he believed in, running for governor of the state of Florida. And now he's saying, I'm not gay. You heard it from his own mouth. He says, I'm not gay. But the truth is, I'm bisexual. The truth is, you're lascivious. You're lusting after your own flesh. And God has turned you over to your own reprobated mind. That's the truth, sir. And until Christians stand up and start talking this and start telling the truth and start challenging this and start standing for what's right, this country is going to go down further, even more than it is now. You thinking if President Trump doesn't win in November, if he wins in November, there's going to be chaos. If he don't win in November, there's going to be chaos. Until this country turns around and starts falling on its knees and start worshiping the Lord and Savior and begging for forgiveness and asking for God's favor, this country is going to further go down, because you and I have a responsibility to teach our children what's right, what's wrong, and this nonsense about worshiping your skin is nothing but idol worship. You're just worshiping idols. You committing idolatry before God, before everyone before you, and all your ancestors are ashamed of you that you're trying to use your skin to get some kind of favor from the devil. You've aligned yourself with Satan. You've gotten in bed with Beelzebub, and you have done nothing but destroyed the black family. CC says, clap and tell the truth, brother. That's the only thing I know. That's the only way I know to tell it, is to tell the truth. I don't know no other way. You know what? I don't come on here every week because I've got some big title sponsor. I wish somebody would sponsor the show and be a title sponsor. I don't have a title sponsor. I've got a few people that help me on the show, and I really appreciate them. In 2016, the choice was between Hillary and who above all other things was the late-term abortion, and Trump, who cherished the sanctity of life. This time is pro-God, pro-America, pro-life Trump versus anti-God, anti-America, anti-anything good Biden. No-brained, don't you think? That was from Jenny Lucille, who just posted that on the Facebook page. And you can, of course, you can join us there at Facebook Live. We broadcast every Wednesday when we are allowed to, when they allow me to broadcast. I'm surprised they hadn't tried to tamper with this show. They may not let me play it later, but we do broadcast live on. Look, we have to use every means necessary. We got to use the pulpit. We got to use the streets. We got to use the internet. We got to use social media. We have to use every means at our disposal to fight against this evil, to fight against what's out there, this nonsense about somehow white people are inherently racist when it was white people who started the abolitionist movement. It was a white person that freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln, the Republican. It was a white person that stood up and said that black children should be allowed to go to school with all the other children. It was a white person that did that, not Black Lives Matter. These people want nothing but their own selfishness, their own sinful nature. It's all they're wanting. And now they're using these young people, putting this garbage in their head in our colleges and universities. If you missed the video, go back and check it out. I put a video out, and it's on this show. You can see it at the front end of the show, where this college professor is teaching this nonsense called critical race theory, and how she's using this to belittle whites, make them feel guilty. Because why do you have to feel guilty for what you were born with? Why you got to feel guilty because you were born a certain way? Who is that putting the guilt on? What is that person telling God? That God didn't know better? That God had no idea what you should be or what your purpose was? That shows you where they are. They're right there at it. They want you to buy into this garbage. They want you to kneel at the altar of Baal. They want you to put your children on that altar. They want your children to be taught this nonsense while they give them sports and they give them entertainment and they let them have things they never dreamed of, fame and fortune. These rappers, these entertainers, these athletes. Bill Davenport says, school system been broken for years. Yeah, the school system been broken since the 50s, since the 1950s. I don't have but just about a minute left on the show, so I don't have time to go into that, but the school system's been broke. Look, the anarchists took the school system over in the 30s. If you want to know the truth about it, the socialists took over our school system in the 1930s. And it's had a stranglehold on your children ever since. It's been a steady decline in the church. It's been a steady decline in the family, to the point right now where the black family is 70-something% single parent household by design. By design. It was not a mistake. It wasn't by chance. It was all by design to keep them in prison, to keep them enslaved somehow to this thing called the federal government. Entertainment is the devil's substitute for joy. Exactly. That's Bobby Todd just made that comment. Look, I want to thank everyone. We got on just a little bit later today, but I want to thank you for chiming in. If you want to support the program, if you want to support what we're doing, go to ImayBeWrong, You can become a subscriber. You can also become someone if you want to support us in terms of what we are doing and committed to doing on a weekly show. We also broadcast all over the network in terms of internet. We have our own show as well. And he says, Jenny says, take God out, and here we are. Exactly. When you remove God from the equation, you have nothing but sin and chaos. Exactly. That's right, Jenny. I want to thank everyone that's come on the show today and been a part of the program. And of course, as always, God is on the throne. God is in control. And I want to thank everyone that's been a part of that and helping us do what we do on a weekly basis. I want to say God bless you. God bless America. God bless our children. Peace.
You've been listening to Alfonso Ashworth, the Barry White of Podcast Radio. Go forth and share his message. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. Remember, no two people can ever occupy the same place at the same time. You were uniquely and wonderfully made. Born an original. Don't die a copy. God bless. Peace.